Juan. I hardly knew Willie except to say hi, and I'm upset. I know he was one of your best friends. Cry all you want, yell or kick, but realize that there was nothing you could have done. Yes, suicide is actually the 10th leading cause of death in the USA. On average, 132 Americans died by suicide each day in 2020. That equaled 48,344 Americans in 2020. And greater than that is the fact that about 1.4 million Americans attempted suicide in 2020. It's very natural to think that you should have seen it coming, or that you could have done something. Suicide isn't that simple, Juan. Men die from suicide 3.6 times more often than women. But women are 1.4 times more likely to attempt suicide. Suicide was the second leading cause of death for people between the ages of 10 and 34. And it was the fourth leading cause of death for the 35 to 54 age set. I had no idea about all of this until I started doing research. We certainly don't talk about death, and talking about suicide seems even more forbidden. How do people die? Well, yeah, just over half the suicides are from firearms. I'm not at all surprised to hear that you know people who have shared with you their suicide thoughts. Our research says that over 10% of all Americans have thought about it. And who knows how many people are going to tell the truth when they get asked. Want to find this information and more so you can look it up later? Go to www.afsp.org/statistics. AFSP stands for American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, by the way. There are all sorts of charts and reports about what states have the highest suicide rates and who has the lowest, but truthfully to me, that doesn't make any difference. If someone you loved, hell, if someone you knew commits suicide, you're very affected. You just want to know? Well, the 2020 figures suggest that New Mexico had the highest suicide rate. I haven't read anything about why. You want to read more on this? You want to try to go do some work on your own? It might make you feel better. Go to www.aieR.org. And once in that webpage, on the top left, there's a magnifying glass. Key in suicide, and a few recent articles show up. By the way, that site is the American Institute for Economic Research and not psychologists. Everybody understands that suicide has a role. That site has a few contributing writers who talk about how people our age, people under age 25, which is a third of the U.S. population, have really been in a position of being held back. COVID, from our education, our emotional, our social development, for well over a year, almost 2, because of decisions that have been made by politicians and the science. What did it do to all of us, Juan? We were scared. We were scared for us. We were scared for our loved ones. We thought if we did what we were told, it would save us all. The truth of it all is now becoming more obvious. But that's not needed right now while you're trying to figure out what to do about Willie's death and your personal pain and how to help his family and some of his other buds. Yes, I've been spending a lot of time trying to get people to talk about death and dying, since we all have that in common. But suicide really haunts people like you, because you believe you could have stopped it. I'm sure you say in your head or to others, if only I had ... and you fill that in. Have you thought that way? Yeah, I knew it. You can't beat yourself up. But you're right. Our society treats suicide like some awful plague not to be discussed at all. We think it's just too painful and full of unresolved feelings. Yeah, sure, Juan. You need to get over to Willie's house and try to help one another. Good idea. Yes, of course, I'm happy to talk with you more about suicide. I'm so glad I can help just a little bit. Take care, Juan. Talk later. Bye. And if you out there haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please do so. Please also write questions so the puppets can keep helping you with issues about death. Thanks.